Hey everyone, in this video I want to share with you the story and lessons of one incident of a man who has now gone on to impact millions upon millions of people in a very entertaining way. And he wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for a chance event that saved his life. So who is this man? It's Seth Macfarlane. He is the creator and voice actor for many of the characters of the show called Family Guy. And this man was literally booked for the flight, the very first flight that was going to be hijacked and was going to hit the tower on 9/11, September 11th, 2011. And he was booked for this flight, but because he was drinking the night before, and because his travel agent had screwed up the itinerary so that he was 15 minutes late, he had to reschedule the flight. And therefore, by just chance and his drinking, he barely missed the flight that was doomed for death. What's more interesting about this is that this man then went on to create the Empire, this animated cartoon that has gone on to change and impact millions upon millions upon millions of people. And everywhere I turn in American and Western culture, people have at the very least heard of Family Guy, and they have loved the show. They've most likely watched at least one episode, if not a dozen episodes. I know I have. And it's so interesting to know that all that impact, all those laughs, all of that, success and, wealth and everything else, and that branding that Family Guy has accomplished, becoming one of the most well-known animated films of all time with its adult humor, that wouldn't have been around if it wasn't for Seth MacFarlane dying. Now, what can you learn from this story? I think what's most important is first, how Seth reacted to it. He analyzed and took that situation from a very scientific mindset. So when he was asked a few times about the incident and how he feels and whether or not it was, divine intervention or whatever else, he looked at it from a very objective scientific view. He said that it was just pure chance and pure luck that he missed the flight. And I thought that this was very smart because he also said, this you can't attribute this to anything. You can't attribute it to me drinking or whatever else. And I think that's very smart because people take this too far, and they will say things like, oh, that means I need to drink more. And it was due to me being an alcoholic that I, managed to survive. And honestly, that's probably not the best way of looking at things because, you can easily pick up a bunch of bad habits or really, unhealthy habits by attributing it to some type of chance event that helped you out in some way or helped you out in a big way, such as your life being saved. In addition to this, obviously it's a reminder to all of us to be very, very grateful that this sort of thing could happen to you at any moment, at any second. And it's even more eerie because in the last 2 years, I've heard about so many public shootings in cities and towns, maybe 3 or 4 in the last 2 years, where mentally ill people have gone to public locations, universities, malls, in California, in a bunch of states, and killed many, many people, dozens of individuals. So it is just eerie how this sort of stuff can happen, and no one is really completely safe from it. And even Seth MacFarlane, this man who had already started Family Guy back in 1999, you know, even he, wasn't immune from it. He got onto the plane just like everyone else, and it just happened to be, to his death or possible death, which he ended up avoiding. Now, I think the last most important thing I think um, you can take from this is to be grateful and really make the maximum impact in your life, uh, and play the long game so that you don't screw yourself over and rack yourself in immense debt or anything like that, um, because you think that you won't live that long and you end up living until your 70s or 80s. But at the same time, you also want to live for the short term a bit as well. So live for the short term, live for the long term as well, all in one. And how I do that, for instance, is every day or every other day or once a week, I will do something that I always want to do. And I do this in the rare case that, maybe one day I will never be able to do this. And I think this is a great habit that everyone should have. On the flip side, I also am very safe and I don't do anything super risky, like, something stupid like driving while you're drunk or something like retarded like that. But I also save my money, invest it, plan for the future in the, case that I do live until a ripe old age of 60, 70, or 80 years of age, which, we all hope to do so. So let me know what you thought about all this. I honestly just think that it's very, very interesting and inspiring, and especially for Seth MacFarlane, because now Family Guy is still going very strong after over a decade, and he's even made a few jokes about 9/11 in his latest episodes of Family Guy, and it's so eerie how he still makes these jokes as if he's just like talking about it on the side, like as a bystander who wasn't so close to this happening to him. Um, and when you learn that he was that close to this occurring, it really just shocks you. Like, what? This guy was literally almost on the flight, and he literally missed it because he was too drunk to get on. So, it's eerie, and I think it's a reminder to be grateful and not hold anything off for too long. So many people, they say, when I hit 50 years of age, or when I hit 60, or once I save up enough and put in enough into my retirement plan, and work until we're you know in our 60s, then I can finally do what I want and go on vacation. That's a problem because you are never guaranteed that, and so you shouldn't hold back too much and do what you want to do, and at the same time be very thankful for the time you do have and make the most impact. And also, again, you also want to be a little bit safe because there's a bunch of other people who go to extreme of just partying and drinking way too much and then screwing themselves over because they party like they were going to die tomorrow and they didn't, and now they're extensively in debt or very unhealthy and so forth. That's all I gotta say. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Peace.